What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We are hitting earnings season. We got a slew of stocks on the list, but we also got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Andrew, Andy, Bill, Bragg. Good morning to Chris, Corey, Georgia. Good morning. We got Jay, Joe, JT. Good morning to Marius, Martina, Mike, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to you. We got Brian Davis. Good morning. Fitz is in the house. We got Santilla. Good morning to M Sky. Leonard, good morning. Sky says, let's get some MCD, not quarter pounders though. If you don't like the product, maybe don't get the stock. I don't know. Just a wild concept, but we'll see. I got like a little thing that says you are sharing sound from your computer and that message won't go away. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. No, there it is. Went away. But yeah, we'll see. SPY gapping down a little bit. We'll definitely get to those earning companies. You are opening, so we have a little bit of a. We're still inside day from realistically Friday. We haven't done much yesterday. It was kind of a slow day. We dripped a little bit, nothing too crazy. The retest spot is if we're going to continue anything bullish. And again, this is still a decent spot for some shorts to come in. If you don't like the market, if you think it's going to fall apart, if you think elections go crazy and who knows what happens, but uh, we're in the zone still to have a decent short, have some kind of protection. That being said, we're still above all moving averages. Everything still looks decent from the reports that came out, at least. Just generally speaking, there was I think one report I didn't really kind of like, but for the most part, they were pretty good earnings, and some of the companies you're not having any massive real beats as far as stocks just moving crazy. Not that I saw yet. But I'm looking for support somewhere around 579.42. We're very close to it. Might have even hit that pre-market already. So not bad for buy the dip here. If you start to break, I think under 579.33, next spot to look down to see if you want to buy the dip is as close as possible to that 20 EMA. That's going to take us to 577.48. Also another pretty solid retest spot or volume zone where some bulls might step in, and that still keeps us above that 20. So we'll see. We'll see how this market wants to react. But right now, so far, just kind of hanging out. Still inside that Friday candle, and it is a retest gap today at support. I would probably expect some buying out of the gate. We got Qs. Qs are again, still inside Friday's candle, a little bit to the weaker side. That could change definitely after hours today with some AMD coming out, maybe enough to push the rest of the market higher. The Nvidias, which on a little chain effect will then push everything else. We'll see. But Qs are looking a little bit more weaker. Now you got some resistance, heavy resistance above you, 495.98. We have to get through that. Yesterday's VPOC, yesterday's volume zone, we got 496.33. To the downside, though, there is some hope for some bulls. We got some support for 94.32. If we start to break that, we do have an untested VPOC somewhere around 491.60, and that would take us pretty much right into that 20 EMA, very similar to the SPY as well. Everything else, just kind of looking a little bit to the choppy, digesting some of those earnings that came out, and yeah, let's go. If you got tickers, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go through. I see a couple there already, but let's see if we cover some of the earnings that came out first. PayPal, we have a little bit of a gap and go. They beat on earnings per share. I believe we missed on revenue. So yeah, we missed on revenue. For the most part, I think the growth was 9%, so nothing too crazy. We did say yesterday, and probably a couple days before that as well, but this would be a tough one getting into earnings, fully expecting some kind of a down move on PayPal after just an absolute massive move. This is not NVDA. We're not inventing chips or coming out with Blackwell products and all this stuff. It's PayPal. They're massive. They have huge customer base already. It's difficult for them to grow, and I think that's what Alex Chris is trying to switch that narrative to. We are a growth company. The report's not bad. I didn't think they were going to beat earnings per share. I did think they were going to beat revenue, so I was completely off on that. It was vice versa, but not bad earnings. The earnings weren't bad, and to me as a long term PayPal holder, I'm not selling. It is what it is, and there's going to be some kind of dips that come into the market, and if you are ready for them, you can sit through them, so it's not that bad. But that is a gap and go for today. You are opening a little bit out of support. Would be interesting. We got down to we had a little flash meltdown to like 74, I think under 74. Uh yeah, I think pre-market we just got ripped lower. And they bought it back, so we're just holding steady for this point. But yeah, we got that was an ugly print right out of the gate. 73.36 would have been that support. I think we actually probably got I don't think we quite hit that one, but regardless, it's still gap and go. You got a little support. I don't know if I would touch it really bullish today, but if it does get bought up, look for a pretty decent resistance on this one, 83.27. Also on the same note, I'm probably not going to take this one short. You got support somewhere around 81.81, and then you do have a decent level of support, providing that this holds here before that bell rings. SoFi, pretty much, I think they had one miss. I mean, everything beat in terms of earnings per share, revenue looked good. Surprise beat to the earnings per share side, 23% beat on that. You came in 9% higher on the revenue, so an extra 57.85 million. They got up to almost $12. I think we got into like the $11.99 zone. Otherwise, their earnings, they did look phenomenal. There was only one miss on a like subcategory, which wasn't that crazy, but yeah, for the most part, every other individual metric that they measure themselves by was a strong beat, but we ran up into those earnings. Same thing. We're just kind of holding at this point. Again, I still think SoFi is a growing company. I think it's still decent. We have some of us have some of the leaps. We got till 2026, I think. So I'm still looking to hold those. We'll see if we get some bids, but we are pretty far extended from all moving averages. So makes sense if we at least just kind of hang out for a little bit. And then usually after SoFi earnings, the manipulation just comes in heavy and this thing just ends up tanking. So even if we get a pullback, look for a move to 1034. And I think worst case on the move, we may get back down to 985. I'm not sure if that all happens today, but I wouldn't be shocked completely out of my mind if we got back down to 985 before we start to bounce again. So we will see, but small move, strong earnings, good report. Market just not going to reward it. And there's a lot of people already kind of profitable on that one already. So we'll see. MCD for M Sky. He's hungry in the AM. I like it. Their earnings again, not bad earnings. They for a big monster company, you still came in with a beat higher than expectations. You did come in with a beat higher than the revenue. I think their forecast was or guidance was a little bit lower. We talked about that yesterday too, where probably any of the E. coli quarter pounders are not going to make this report. That just came out this week, last end of last week. So a lot of that is not really going to show on this report. And now the question is, did they at all really hurt their reputation? Is that going to lower sales? According to the CEO, it looks like it might cause it to flop a little bit, but and then according to him, he said they're selling the quarter pounder. He didn't say that E. coli is gone or there's no more cases, which is interesting. He just he just came out and said, yeah, we should be good. We're I think we're all right. But nonetheless, that one is kind of still hanging out again, still to the lows. Watch this 294.74 zone. I think if that breaks, you see a little bit bigger of a move down to this 287.87, maybe even down to like 287.25 zone. But on a risk to reward basis, this is still a retest gap from yesterday. We're still inside day. We do have one support sitting at 292.84. So, uh, not that it's my favorite thing to buy. I know M. Scott wants to, but it's not a bad location to try. Obviously, you have a decent stop out zone somewhere around 290.70. My guess on this one is we're just staying inside those. This again candle from Friday, and nothing really crazy happens on that one. All right, let me go to some of your tickers. We got NVDA. And then there was, I think Brian threw out two stocks. I don't even know what they are, so we'll take a look at those two next. We got NVIDIA. Uh, pulling back for now. There could be some concern heading into the AMD earnings with, again, another stock that has just absolutely ran up. If AMD comes in with a weaker report, that could pull back the confidence, at least, in NVIDIA. and then you get probably that dip. So it looks like we have a little profit taking today. Nothing again too wild, but depends on where this one wants to open. I have support somewhere around 139.78. Looks like we are slightly below it at this point. And then target to the downside, I think we'd be looking to hold like 138.44. So not too big of a range. And again, you probably have a little bit of, I think, profit taking heading into the AMD report, as that might affect the outlook or confidence in the chip sector potentially. So we'll see. Otherwise, if you're looking for a retest on this one, your retest is up to 141.06. That would be an interesting spot to short ahead of AMD earnings if you don't like AMD and you think that's going to affect NVIDIA whatsoever. But so I wouldn't. I don't know if I was short here, but depends again. Yeah, I probably just wouldn't short this one. I'm not going to short NVIDIA at open, at a support. If I'm going to try it, give me the best possible price. Give me that 141.12-ish, somewhere up in that range. 141. Otherwise, just hanging out. Nothing too crazy. AVXL. Let's see what that looks like. AVXL. Anavex Life Sciences. My guess is this is biotech. Yep, biotech. Pretty good breakout candle yesterday. Decent amount of consolidation. No clue what the short float is. You are slightly above resistance on this one. So see if you get a little bit of a pullback. This would be a retest gap for you. So that's 583 would be my first spot to look. Let's see if what their news was. Science price target maintained with a $40 a share by HC. So that's a monster. They're going for the fences on that one. So they have an upgrade up to $40. All right. Again, I would do my research on this company. I have no clue what they do. I guess they study the science of life, which is if they see somebody laying down, they poke them with a stick, I guess, and they're like, no, this one's not alive. That's it. But AVXL, yeah, that's good consolidation. Again, good breakout. That $40 price target is nothing short of wild. But yeah, that's a all-time high. This would be an interesting one to do some research on. If you don't know what the company does, if you're looking for maybe a long-term investment. Today, I don't think we hit $40. You do have a lot of resistance. I'd say price target today, providing there's not a huge short float that we could get through it, but $6.12. Otherwise, kind of looks. Let's say this one's to my list. I'm gonna look at this one later. I wanna see what their balance sheet looks like. BTDR, and then what they actually do. This is technology service and data processing. Again, another breakout candle. The move was more yesterday than it was today, though, Brian. Doesn't mean we can't get continuation, but this is a tough spot for me to come up with a good risk reward. If I was to take this one out of the gate, really my stop that tells me I'm wrong. I mean, really is probably 744 and then aggressively 788. So I would have to expect a monster move out of this one for really good risk reward. Other than that, great candle yesterday. If this one pulls back, it might give you a better opportunity. I would be waiting for 834 and probably miss the whole trade, but at least I get the price I want. So I would need a bit more of a pullback on this one. Bitdeer Technologies. Is that anything Bitcoin related? Is that why they got a bit, or they're just smart? Tesla, yeah, I see Tessie, Clarice, and I like it. I like it. Um, I don't know what Tesla's going to do today. It does seem like we have not as bullish sentiment in general in the market. I forget which one of you guys in the chat during the live room we were talking about where to get in, and I think we had some kind of price target somewhere around this 258.39. We got so close to this one pre-market. Or actually, I think it was more after hours, but yeah, we got all the way down to 260, so didn't quite hit it yet. That being said, we got fairly close to it. I've got my price target back to about 269. It has some range on it for today. I'd even probably be coming a little lower with those targets, maybe 267.88. But again, monster big bullish. We had one now actual pullback day, which is impressive. The only thing is maybe I'm a little more patient on this one out of the gate for today. Maybe I do let it just see if I can get my price because it is massively high. Also on a wave count basis on this one, um, I don't know where we want to start the first wave. I'm gonna go here. So let's say this is one, this is two. I think this entire move is a three, and we're just sitting in a four. So if that's the case, maybe we get that one new lower low. My little laughing alarm thing goes off, or it's not laughing, clapping. So yeah, clapping alarm goes off, and I could get filled on that next wave down. I think that would be an interesting place to try to get into Tesla. Um, I was looking up until about a minute before I started my analysis on this one. I was interested in maybe taking some kind of a breakout on this one. So you got some decent level of support. Maybe we don't even get up there and wouldn't trigger anyway, but taking a break of like 263.54, that would give me that little move. However, kind of zooming out, looking at the wave count, I think this is definitely your wave three. I think we're in a wave four a little bit longer term with this pre-market activity. So I'm going to be patient. I'm actually going to be a little patient on this one. I say actually because I'm never patient, but let's see if I can get this pullback. Maybe that comes into a double bottom, but if we get that one new lower low, I think that would actually set me up decent. Lucian says it should be pretty good. Sticks are cheap. I don't know what you're referring to. Sticks are cheap. Are you trying to buy sticks? Because then this morning took a turn. I don't know where we go from there. I'm not sure. All right, GameStop. Um, I was looking for this move for the last couple days. Then I didn't have an order set up, so I missed it. But fairly good move on GameStop. You do have earnings on this one coming up. It's gonna be a wild card. They got a lot of cash sitting around and just have no idea what to do with it. But 2308, watch that. That would be my resistance. Obviously, it's GameStop. It could get squeezy. That is a nice double bottom off the 200. Fantastic breakout yesterday. Did it go too far? Maybe. If you're looking now to try to get in, watch the 2207 zone. I think that would get you a better risk reward as your target is not that far away. If it breaks out of that, you're looking at 2415. GameStop could be GameStop at any point. It's just one to watch. And then you got DJT moving. You got some other memes that are kind of going crazy. You got crypto go nuts. And we're back into 2020 again. So fantastic there. Coinbase. Oh, I'm so annoyed at Coinbase. I don't even know if I want to talk about Coinbase, Albert. This is my swing. I did not have my order set up for, and then I tried to change it, then got distracted. But I did not have the target set up for extended hours. Otherwise, I would be out. I would have hit my target. So I am hoping for a bounce. I still got my order set for 224.42. That's a 1.4 R. And it got there. We got there essentially to the penny. Actually, hold on, did we? I think we just no, we was okay. I don't feel as bad anymore. I would have missed it by that's more like a trade. Yeah, missing it by 2 pennies, 3 pennies. Um, Bitcoin, good breakout on Bitcoin. We'll pull that one up next, but we had a good overnight on crypto in general, but more or less Bitcoin. I don't know how I want to manage this trade. I'm probably not gonna because we have earnings coming out, I think tomorrow after the bell. So I want to be out of this trade. It's not intended to hold over earnings. We're still very, very close to targets for our swing trade, where I just don't know. I kind of want to take a market exit and not have to sit through it, lock as much as I can, and then if I come in lower, maybe could use those profits to hold some shares into earnings. So I don't know. I don't know how I want to kind of manipulate this trade a little bit. I'll see out of the gate though. If we get some kind of a push, I'll leave it there probably the first hour and a half. See if we get some kind of move. Otherwise, worst case, we could probably just bring our stops up, get to break even, and then maybe hold it through earnings and just see what happens. Uh, But otherwise, yeah, it still looks bullish. Bitcoin again had a good day last night, breaking that 70K mark, which is huge. This is technically a retest gap. That's what worries me kind of the most. And then pre-market, you had a little double top in that thing too. So again, some people who took swing trades, they might have their targets set up, especially because earnings come out tomorrow night. I'm one of those people. So for day trade purpose, I'm pretty profitable just trying to figure out if I can stay in till targets or if I have to wait, get the pullback. So probably not looking for a day trade on this one to go long out of the gate. I think this one ends up fading. I think your spot to look, your first spot, 215.29, your better spot. See if you get a full retest onto like 214.03, and then it wants to go. So I think there's a fade, but again, it's going to move off of Bitcoin, BTC, USD. And then the only other thing too is we still have the entire day today. We still have the entire day tomorrow. There might be some excitement into earnings, and then we can still hit that target regardless. So I'm going to try to probably be patient and get those stops up on that swing. But really good breakout candle. Again, we're watching that hammer closely. That candle from October 23rd, nice looking hammer. A couple of days of consolidation right after we broke out of a big downtrend. We were just using that as support, and then we started to rip. Big spot on this one was 69,758. Everybody else is probably looking at 70K even. Next spot up, though, is right where we're at here. So we're probably going to get held a little bit here. 71,141. If we start breaking through that, that's going to take us up to the next target, 73,131. However, I think we end up breaking through that. I think lower interest environment rates, although TLT has just been getting clobbered, but lower interest rates, that environment is typically good for crypto. We've had a pretty extended almost wave count. So if that was wave even 3, this is a 4. This one lasted since March of 2024. And now you're starting to kind of break out of that finally and starting to get that move. So I think we have a lot more room to go on Bitcoin. I wouldn't be, if you're holding it, I wouldn't get too anxious on the sell side of it and just try to hold the winners as long as possible. But so longer term, I do think coin's probably going to be good. I just don't have any clue what those earnings are going to report because again, when Bitcoin's moving and you get that chop, you're getting a lot more people buying. You're going to make that transaction fee. If you're just shopping around, and we only saw kind of Bitcoin break recently, I don't know how much of that's going to be in the earnings. So I'm a little worried about the Coinbase earnings, but if it sells off on earnings, I'll probably look to buy that dip because I do think Bitcoin does continue to run higher. Baba, let's see, what's Baba doing today? Yep, nice little gap up on Baba. Again, retest gap slightly above the 20, which is interesting. Other than that, you do have your little resistance somewhere around 102.16. So that's where we'd have to get through. Otherwise, on a pullback, this is a retest gap. I don't know. I think we probably run bullish out of the gate, 102.16 though. If you get past that, your next stop is 103.26. So a little bit of room to the higher side. And maybe that happens, being that we are above the 20. Otherwise, I think this one probably ends up fading a little bit down to this $100.52 mark, and then we could try to go from there. RCL. RCL. And anything China related, I think we have to wait till beginning of November, November 4th to I think it's like the 10th. Somewhere in that time frame, I think China has their economic meeting. And if we get extra stimulus in China, then everything Chinese stock related goes nuts again. Otherwise, I kind of think we're just waiting. Royal Caribbean. Beat on earnings per share, missed 5 million on the revenue side of things. So they did not sell too many of the all-inclusive drinks, or maybe they sold too many all-inclusive drinks packages, and they're just people are over exceeding their expectations, maybe. I don't know. But the revenue did miss a little bit. You are opening again into some support. I think this one probably fades. Look for some kind of resist or fades higher. So I think this one, I think you get some kind of resistance right around this 199.95 zone. If you would like to short that one, that's probably the first spot I would look. It could go a little bit more up to like $200.59, but I'm gonna put this one on the list to see if I can actually take a fade. If we could get it. If I'm quick enough. I'm gonna see if I can go bullish. It kind of looks decent. We got it $3. So depending on where our stop comes in, we get a high wave candle. We can take a break. I'm with it. That looks decent though. TREX. Rawr. Uh, Trucks company. We got 5 cents. Yep, that's a decent earnings gap. They came in with 8.3 million. Surprise beat to the higher side. See if you get at least a small pullback on this one. That is a retest as well, heading into earnings. Look for that $70.88. Tessie's going kind of nutty. Nice pop on Tessie. You've got targets, I think, and I don't think this happens today, but $75.40. We still have to get through the 200 on that one. Really nice gap. Good to watch. I don't know what the volume typically looks like on this one. And I don't know how spready this one is as well. It's pre-market, but for right now, it looks like about $2. So watch the spread on this one. Otherwise, decent gap. I do think this one probably ends up pulling back a little bit. Not sure how strong this support is going to be, $70.90. So if you get a little extended, look for like 68.19. But it does have some room to the higher side, so I think it would be one to watch if it's not too spreading. GE and LMT. Oh yeah, let's check out CROX next. Let's check out CROX next. I heard they were getting crocked. GE. Looks like still some more downward pressure. This one's actually got some more room to the downside. Probably down to 170.08. You have some support in here ahead of time. So maybe the best we could get to today is 173.31. But if that breaks, really the only next spot that I like this one a lot for a short, actually. DJ going bearish. No, no, no. No, no, no. Yeah, I like that one to the short. All right, let's see what we can do now. You do have the 100 coming in, somewhere around 172.23. Man, if that breaks, and that's uh actually, let's see if this one could get bought up. I do have yesterday's VPOC somewhere around 176.27. So that would be a fantastic short. Otherwise, yeah, retest into 175.33 gives us best risk to reward. Other than that, man, there's so many stocks today, but the bell rang. I didn't get to all of them. I tried though. I gave them my best college try. So we'll see what happens. But everybody, YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. You guys are awesome. Be safe in the market. Lots of earnings tonight, lots of earnings tomorrow morning. It's gonna be a wild week. You guys are awesome.